There are 5 kinds of men in this world, and I met one of them. The one who seemed perfect, charming, and very skilled with women in a way I'd never experienced, but every touch pulled me deeper into danger. Follow Mijoga true crime love stories. Learn from my real experiences and the untold stories of people around me. The 5 kinds of men. The man who loves to please, attentive, romantic, magnetic, but sometimes hides his true self. The man who talks too much, charming, flirtatious, keeps you entertained while masking secrets. The man who disappears, appears when convenient, disappears when questioned. Desire lures you in. The man who watches, quiet, observant, knows your patterns, learns what excites and scares you. The man who does too much, generous, always present. Every intimate gesture makes you crave more, but is it love or manipulation? I met the man who does that, the man who made me feel things I'd never felt before. Every subtle touch, every close moment, made me want more. It wasn't just physical, it was emotional, intoxicating, addictive. And I didn't yet know that the same charm that thrilled me would become the web I was trapped in. The perfect beginning. Moving to a new city was supposed to be a fresh start. I needed a life away from old patterns, old heartbreaks, and the familiar disappointments. My apartment was small, quiet, and perfect for someone seeking solitude. And yet, on the very first night, I noticed him. He was my neighbor, and the first impression wasn't extraordinary, at least, not until he smiled. That smile was warm, inviting, and somehow intimate. He introduced himself casually, helping me with a box, asking about my work, my interests, my life. There was charm, yes, but something in his attention made me feel like the only person in the world. Within days, we were talking every evening about nothing and everything. Small gestures became big. A knock on my door with coffee, leaving a note on my table, checking in with concern if I seemed tired. There was something intoxicating about him. Every time he leaned close, touched my hand, or brushed a stray hair from my face, I felt a flutter I'd never known. It wasn't just physical, it went deeper, twisting into my emotions, making me crave his presence. I had never felt so alive, so seen, so understood. It was addictive. I wanted more. Every glance, every accidental brush of our bodies drew me closer. I ignored the subtle twinge in my gut that whispered caution. Charm, attention, desire. He had mastered them all. And I, foolishly, fell in love. The sweet romance. Our evenings became rituals. We cooked together, shared music, whispered dreams in the quiet of my apartment. Each touch, each intimate gesture, made my heart race. He was not only magnetic, but emotionally gripping. Every time he held me, it was like electricity flowing through my chest. I craved it, returning again and again, powerless to resist. It wasn't lust, it was something deeper. He knew how to make me feel safe, yet exhilarated at the same time. His presence was addictive. His hands seemed to understand me in ways I couldn't explain. I laughed more, loved more, lived more than I had in years. And yet, small inconsistencies began to appear. Late nights when he disappeared, unexplained phone calls, odd comments about places he had been. I brushed them off, telling myself he was busy, that perfection has its little flaws. But even as suspicion crept in, I returned to him again and again. Every flirtation, every intimate moment, every seductive glance pulled me back. I couldn't leave. I didn't want to. My addiction to his presence was as real as my love for him. The subtle signs. Then the unease began. A neighbor whispered about odd noises, unexplained shadows at night. I noticed broken locks in the hallway, items missing from shared spaces. His explanations were smooth, charming, believable, but my intuition began to whisper louder. Every time I questioned him, every time I hesitated, he leaned in closer, touched me, whispered words that made me melt and forget my fears. I rationalized, ignored the red flags. The addiction had become my prison. It was psychological, desire versus fear, love versus instinct. He watched, learned what I craved, what I feared, He gave just enough comfort, just enough thrill, to keep me coming back, always coming back. The horror unveiled. Then the truth hit. I discovered he had a dark life hidden from view, involved in local burglaries, connected to theft rings, possibly even violence. The man I had craved, loved, and felt addicted to was dangerous. My heart screamed to run, but my mind was entangled in every memory of his touch, every intimate moment. Fear gripped me. I felt trapped, emotionally addicted, physically close to danger. I had to act carefully. I documented, reached out to people I trusted, and slowly untangled myself. Every seductive memory now became a lesson in how easily love can blind you to danger. Lessons learned. Intuition is your strongest guide. Never ignore the twinge in your gut. Addictive love can blind you. Desire shouldn't outweigh safety. Trust is earned, not seduced. Charm can mask danger. Boundaries save lives. Emotional and physical limits are essential. Life is more valuable than craving. No thrill, intimacy, or addiction is worth risking your safety. Love can feel magical, intoxicating, irresistible. But when charm hides danger, addiction becomes a trap. And the man you crave most may be the one teaching you the hardest lesson of your life.